What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the channel. If you've never been here before, I am Mike, the credit guy, and we talk about everything credit. Credit repair, credit cards, how to rebuild credit, how to travel, how to use those credit cards properly. And on today's show, we are going to talk about my favorite 3 credit cards to help you rebuild your credit with for 2023. Now, before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll get notifications when we go live, when we drop new videos, because we're going to be dropping at least 1 video a week. And of course, we drop shorts every day. Make sure to also go follow us on any other social media platform. We are on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, of course, okay? Twitter, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. I know it's kind of crazy, right? We're everywhere. So make sure to go support us and make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that like button so we can get this to go out to many more people, so we can help as many people as we possibly can. And make sure you share this with your friends, okay? We're going to keep it moving here. And also, if you have any questions, anything you want me to talk about, make sure to throw it in the comments, throw some emojis in there, get the algorithm going so we can send it to even more people out there. So let's get into it, okay? Now, it's really important to understand that building and rebuilding your credit is very key for your success for the future. But what I see a lot of times is people just go willy-dilly, start applying for credit, getting all these crazy credit cards. You want to keep it simple and keep it minimal, because the choices that you make when you're rebuilding your credit or you're just starting out are going to be very key to your future. What I see a lot of times when I look at people's credit files, I see there's too many credit cards that they don't use, credit cards that they're paying annual fees for. You know, make sure that you research these cards, that they are a good fit for you. You know, you don't want to have a bunch of credit cards on your file that you don't use and then you have to close them. Every time that you close a credit card, it's going to adversely affect your credit score. If you close an auto loan, which is an installment loan, a personal loan, which is also an installment loan, a credit card, any type of line of credit, you close it and it is going to potentially drop your credit score. Now, the drop is going to be minimal, okay? It's going to be anywhere from 15 to 60 points possibly. It's not always a tremendous amount, but remember, it's going to affect your FICO score. We don't use Credit Karma, remember that, okay? So we're only talking about your FICO score. It can potentially drop your FICO score, but your score will start to rebound within 3 to 6 months. Sometimes it may take all the way up to 9 months to get you back to your full score. Some people don't get back to the full score because you've closed an account. So just be positive and keep building and moving forward. Something that's also very important for you to understand is every time that you add a line of credit, you're reducing your average age of credit. So this is why it's very important that you not go out there and apply for all these credit cards that you're not going to use, that aren't a good fit for you, have annual fees. You have to be strategic with it when you are adding new lines of credit, because you don't want to waste that, 1, if you have to get a hard inquiry, or 2, just adding that new line of credit. This is why it's very important when you're moving forward that you choose the right credit cards that are going to be a good fit for you. I'm going to suggest these to you. These are just suggestions, but I've had clients that use these cards and they work perfectly for them and they help them rebuild, okay? So let's get into it. We're going to put these cards up on the screen also so you can see them. So the first one on the list is going to be the Cred.ai card, okay? This is a fintech credit card company that is absolutely fabulous. I use it for all my clients. And what it is a secured credit card, but it does not report as a secured credit card. This is why I like this credit card so much. Okay, now what you do is you apply for it, and guess what? There's no hard inquiry, okay? So that's the best part about it also, that you're not going to get a hard inquiry when you apply for this credit card. Now, once you apply, you get the account, you're going to have to put anywhere from $10 all the way up to $10,000 in it on this card to secure it, okay? It doesn't matter what you put on it because it's always only going to report a $1,500 line of credit to all 3 credit bureaus. Now, we have seen some weird cases where it only reported a $1,000 line of credit for whatever reason. Not sure what triggered that. We don't have any data points on that, but it's very, very rare if we do see that. But if you just put $10 on this, it will report to all 3 credit bureaus that you have a $1,500 line of credit that is not secured. That is a game changer. We want to try to keep secured cards off of your credit file as much as we possibly can in the rebuilding process, because getting out of a secured credit card is very difficult. if you're not using it properly. And this is what consumers do not understand. Now, what do I mean by that? If you're just not using your credit card enough, that is a secured card, they really have no motivation to graduate you out of that card. And that's the biggest problem that we see with some of our clients or just people that do these secured cards. So we want to try to stay away from those as much as possible, but there is another secured card on this list, and we'll get to that in the end. So the Cred.ai, there is no hard inquiry, okay? There's no minimum to keep on this card. So you can literally just keep 10 bucks on it, and it's always going to report a $1,500 line of credit to all 3 credit bureaus. You can literally just put 10 bucks on it, and then you go to a gas station, buy yourself a soda or a snack, and then pay it off, okay? It's just that simple. It is almost like having a free trade line on your credit file. And for people that are out there that don't have much credit, this is a very great way to start building or rebuilding your credit, because it's going to report that $1,500 line of credit versus a $200 or $500 secured line of credit. Okay, so this is why I like the Cred.ai card better than all the other ones. Now remember, if you're ever in the market to get a better credit card, get the best credit card offer you can, in my bio, in the link, in the description, right there, okay? Don't forget, in the description, you can find our link for all of our credit card offers. This is how you can support our channel and keep us going. I make sure to get all the new offers, and we get updated before anyone else. I've checked it. I've confirmed it, okay? Our credit card offers change before everyone else's. So if you want to get the best credit card offer, go to the link in the description that says, Mike's favorite credit card offers, and then click on that link, and it's going to open up all the world of credit cards right there that you can apply for and get the best credit card offer with the best points. Now, you want to keep the Cred.ai card by itself, okay, with no other credit card if you're rebuilding or you're building for at least 6 months minimum before you try to go after another credit card. You have to build positive payment history in your name, okay? This has to be a primary. So this is going to help you. So do it for a minimum of 6 months. I tell some people a full year. They may need it, okay, because they need to have 12 months of on-time payments, because this is tremendous for your credit file. So do it for 6 months to a year, and then you want to go to the next possible credit card. The next one is going to be a very controversial one for me, and I'll explain why. It is the Platinum Secured Credit Card by Capital One. Now, we've seen all kinds of different data points with this credit card, but the biggest thing to understand is a lot of people talk about it. Capital One is stingy. They don't just unsecured credit cards. They don't just give lines of credit limit increases. They don't just do that. Like, you have to be using the credit card in order to do that. So what do I mean by that? There's this big misconception that if I have a $500 line of credit, I don't want to use but maybe $20 or $80 and then pay it off. No, you need to use that credit card as much as you possibly can responsibly and pay it off in full every single month. Now, what does that mean? Everyone goes by the due date. Your due date is created because you carried a balance. You need to learn your statement closing date. Use your credit card very frequently, responsibly, and pay it off 2 days before your statement closing date, okay? Once your statement closing date hits, let's say it's the 20th, don't use that credit card for up to 7 days so it reports a zero balance. There's no credit card company that's going to be like, oh, look at that balance. It's really nice. No, you need to learn to pay off your balances in full every month. And don't put something on your credit card that you don't have money in the bank to pay immediately, because it is a very slippery slope and you can potentially get yourself in debt. Credit cards are great tools for rebuilding credit, but if you misuse them and you overreach yourself and you overspend, you can get yourself in debt. This is how people default on credit cards and they charge them off. So if you only use what you need to use responsibly, you're going to be fine. And also when I want to touch on this subject is, people think about credit cards and they say, well, what am I going to buy with this credit card? I don't know what to use it for. It's not meant to be an extension of you. It's not your money. You need to get that into your mindset that it's not my money. So how to use this credit card successfully without without getting in debt, right? That's the big question. You can pay your light bill, okay? You can pay your light bill with a credit card. If you have the money to pay it with your credit card and then pay it off. You have your utilities. Some people pay gas for their homes, your cell phone bill. That's a great one, okay? Then you have your water bill, okay? Garbage bill, your car insurance, gas for your car, and groceries. Use your credit card for these things, okay? And then pay it off in full. And remember the golden rule, don't put it on your credit card if you do not have the money in it to clear that payment. Last part's the most important. Real quick, if we can talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart, it's about Nicole's Wish. Now, we've been working with Nicole's Wish. It is a nonprofit organization that helps us achieve Make-A-Wish wishes, okay? So now, if you donate to Make-A-Wish, it goes into a very big pot, which is fine because we're still granting wishes, okay? Remember that, okay? But Nicole's Wish goes into a smaller pot. So your donations, whether they be small or large, will go to help achieve some type of wish for a child out there. And we've been able to grant more wishes at a faster pace using this technique and working with Nicole's Wish. And we've been able to grant 5 wishes in the last 2 years, which is phenomenal. Okay, so if you can be so kind, whatever type of donation is greatly appreciated. Thank you. So the Capital One secured card. It's very important that you understand if you don't use this properly, they're never going to graduate it, okay? What happens is people get this $500 secured card or $250 secured card, and they don't use it very much. They build up the credit, and then they get stuck with it. If you go past 6 months to a year of not really using this and they don't graduate it, what I mean by graduating is they give you another credit card and replace the secured card with an unsecured card, okay? And it does not close it. They just change the product. We call it an upgrade or a change in product. You want them to do this because you don't want them to close the account and then give you another credit card. If you get stuck in the vortex of Capital One where they don't graduate it, then this is a problem. You're going to have a secured card on your credit file for who knows how long, okay? You want them to change that status from secured to unsecured, okay? And that's really key in using this platinum secured credit card as much as you possibly can and showing Capital One that you need more money. Because if you're only using $25, maybe $100 of a $500 credit limit or $25 every $250 credit limit, there's no motivation to raise that credit limit and graduate you. This is the biggest mistake that people make. So it's very important to understand that don't do that. Use the card aggressively but responsibly. You know, only put it on the card if you have money in the bank. That's the most important part. Now, this is one of my favorites. And before we get to that, let me say this. Before you apply for a Capital One or any other credit card, there are lots of tools out there to help you. So Capital One has what's called a pre-qualify tool. It's going to let you know if you qualify for any of their credit cards that they offer. If you're rebuilding, all you got to do is a simple Google search, okay, of Capital One pre-qualify, skip the ad parts and go all the way down to the Capital One link, okay? And then if you enter your information, you can see if you pre-qualify with that link with no impact to your credit score. So if you don't qualify, you will not get a hard inquiry. But if you move forward and you accept the credit card, you will get a hard inquiry, okay? So that's why it's important to start with the Cred.ai first, because you're not going to get a hard inquiry. And then you can go to the Capital One next in 6 months to a year, okay? And then you will get a hard inquiry, but you're going to be in the Capital One family, and that's important as we move forward. Now, the last part here and the last credit card I'm going to talk about is the Discover It. The Discover It is one of the most underrated credit cards of all. Now, this is another great one because if you do the simple Google search again of Discover It pre-qualify, they also have a pre-qualify tool to see what credit cards you pre-qualify for. If you know your credit's not great, don't try to get the Discover It cashback rewards card, okay? Go for the secured one once it tells you that you're pre-approved for these credit cards, because it's usually going to tell you 2 to 3 credit cards, and the secured one's going to be on the list. Discover is very great about graduating people to an unsecured credit card, okay? So get the secured credit card, put your money on it, and then work with this credit card for 6 months. So we got the Cred.ai card, right? We waited 6 months to a year. Then we went and got the Capital One card. Once you got the Capital One card, you want to wait another 6 months before, a minimum of 6 months before you try to go get the Discover It card. A full year is going to be great if you can, but 6 months is fine also, okay? Remember, the more you wait, the more positive payments you're building up, and that's very key to your success. The more positive payments you have, that's what's going to build your credit score, because positive payment history makes up 35% of your credit score. The other 30% is made up by your utilization, the usage and the balances that are reported to the credit bureaus. That's what utilization is built from. So controlling these two categories is going to be the key to your success. So now we've got to the Discover It secured card, right? We've seen if we can pre-qualify, we get it. We secure it with $500. You're going to do the same technique where you're going to use it as much as you possibly can, responsibly, and paying it off. Now, the great thing about this is usually about 6 to 8 months, 8 months maximum. If you're using this exactly like I tell you, Discover is going to send you an email and tell you that they're going to graduate you, and they're going to give you an unsecured credit card, and they're going to refund you your deposit, which is great. Now, if you get the Discover It Cashback Rewards credit cards, the Cashback Rewards credit cards is one of the best in the industry. One, there is no annual fee, which is great, okay? And also, I almost forgot this part. If you apply for even the secured credit card with the pre-qualify, once you accept the card, you're going to get a hard inquiry. There's no hard inquiry to pre-qualify, but once you accept it, you're going to get that hard inquiry. So be aware of that. So there's no annual fee, which is one of my favorite things. There are revolving quarterly categories that are going to change. So there was a category that was for restaurants and PayPal transactions. So you add your Discover credit card to your PayPal account, and then, or you use your Discover card at restaurants, and you're going to get 5% cash back. Okay. This is a revolving category. Every 3 months it changes. You have to go into the app, the Discover It app, to activate these bonuses, which is great. I do it all the time. Like right now, the 5% cash back is up to $1,500 of any type of transactions that you use on Amazon, which is great. You know, it's the holidays. We're all going to use it. We are all literally going to use Amazon moving into the holidays. So, but it caps out at $1,500. This is the only part that sucks, because they know that people are going to run this up. Also, in your first year of cash back with the Discover It Cashback Rewards card, they will double and match your cashback rewards. So basically, if you get $500 in your first year of cashback rewards, they're going to match that. And there's no limitations and no caps for how much they'll match. So you can run up your cashback rewards for the entire first year, and they're going to match you dollar for dollar. So if I do $1,000, they're going to give me $1,000, which is crazy. There's no other credit card that does this. And another thing that people don't understand or don't know about is Discover reports multiple times a month. So it's helping you build your credit faster, okay? Some people can get to the Discover It secured card faster than others. Some people won't qualify depending on what it's on. If you can skip the beginning part because you qualify, because you don't have bad credit, go after the Discover It credit card. Okay, the cashback rewards is phenomenal. And again, it reports multiple times a month. I checked this with one of my friends that's in the industry. He confirmed it, that it does report multiple times. We've seen situations where it reports 3 to 4 times a month. So it's helping you build that positive payment history. And this is why it graduates very fast from 6 to 8 months, because they're tracking your usage. They're seeing how much you're spending, and they want to get you out of that secured card. So this is why the Discover It secured card is one of the best. And once you get into it, you get that cashback rewards one. It's a game changer. You're getting free money for just using a credit card responsibly on things you're already going to pay on. It's great. So those are my top 3 favorites for moving into 2023 of the cards that you can use to rebuild with, okay? Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you follow so you can get notifications whenever we drop shorts or long form content, or even when we go live, okay? And thank you for coming to the channel. Thank you for watching. And before you do anything else, make sure that you subscribe to make sure you're increasing your real credit score.